welcome to this explainer. Today, we are taking a highly structured, analytical look at a truly fundamental sociological concept, social change. We're going to explore exactly how societies evolve, why massive revolutions happen, and what true progress actually looks like. So, let's get right into it. I want to start us off by asking you a question. Have you ever actually stopped for a second to think about why our society today is so vastly, incredibly different from the society of just 100 years ago? I mean, right now, we are living in a world completely driven by the internet, mobile technology, online education, and artificial intelligence. But there was a time, and really not too long ago if we're looking at human history, when literally none of this existed. No smartphones, no global web, and in a lot of places, no democracy or modern educational systems at all. So how exactly does a society change like that? Why do these massive shifts even occur? And here's a vital question we really have to ask ourselves. Is every single change inherently a form of development? Is every modification to our society actually good for us? Let's figure that out. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll cover number 1, what social change actually is. Number 2, evolution in progress. Number 3, revolution versus development. Number 4, the key factors driving all this change. And finally, number 5, the story of a village.
All right, part 1. What is social change?
So what are we talking about here? Social change is essentially the transformation over time of a society's structure, its institutions, its core values, its culture, and its social relationships. Put in plain terms, it happens when a society literally stops functioning the way it used to. It's that messy, fascinating process of abandoning old paradigms and adopting brand new ideas, new technologies, new rules, or just entirely new lifestyles. It's not just about getting a shiny new gadget, it's about how that specific gadget fundamentally rewires the relationships and the values of the people actually using it. To really recognize social change when it's happening, we look for its core characteristics. First off, it's a universal process. It happens everywhere, to absolutely everyone. It's also continuous and dynamic. Society's never truly paused, right? It's multidimensional, which means it impacts politics, economics, and culture all at the exact same time. Interestingly, change can be highly planned. Think of a government rolling out a massive new education policy. Or it can be totally unplanned, like the sudden shifts caused by a natural disaster. And crucially, it can be positive or negative. Bottom line, it's an incredibly complex process, and while it happens everywhere, it often moves at vastly unequal speeds depending on exactly where you are in the world. Moving on to part 2, evolution and progress. Let's start with evolution. When sociologists talk about evolution, they're referring to the natural, very gradual unfolding of society from simple forms into much more complex forms. This is slow, it's highly structural, and most importantly, it is entirely unforced. Think about how early human societies naturally shifted from small, nomadic hunter-gatherer groups into larger, settled agricultural communities. Nobody scheduled that change on a calendar, right? There was no memo. It was just a natural unfolding over vast, vast stretches of time as human beings adapted to their environments. Progress, on the other hand, implies a very specific, value-driven direction. It involves intentional, positive advancements. When we talk about progress, we're looking at targeted social reforms, highly intentional technological advancements, the deliberate expansion of human rights, strategic economic growth, and the establishment of democratic governance. Basically, progress is society as a whole deciding that a certain direction is better and actively working to get there. So we've got the slow burn of evolution and the targeted march of progress. But that raises a pretty fascinating question. Does society always change slowly? Is it really possible for an entire societal structure with all of its massive institutions and deeply held values to just change suddenly and dramatically, almost overnight? That brings us to part 3, revolution versus development. Consider the stark contrast between these two massive concepts. Revolution is sudden, it's often violent, and it represents fundamental shifts where the old system is completely torn down to make way for a new one. It's highly driven by specific ideologies, and it relies on massive, passionate public participation. Development, however, is the exact opposite in how it's executed. It's planned, it's long-term, and it relies on slow, steady institutional growth aimed at very inclusive societal goals. To put it simply, revolution breaks the wheel. Development tries to engineer a better wheel over a long period of time. To really ground this theoretical concept of sudden change, we only have to look back at history. The French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, the American Revolution, the Chinese Revolution, regardless of the various politics behind them, sociologically speaking, these were defining moments where new ideologies caught fire. The mass participation of the public led to the immediate upending of the old regimes and the sudden, forceful establishment of entirely new institutions and social orders. They're your prime textbook examples of sudden, fundamental societal shifts. Now, to anchor the concept of development, we look at models of long-term planning. Think of South Korea's incredible, highly orchestrated economic growth over the latter half of the 20th century. Or consider the concept of the welfare state, or the globally recognized Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. These represent multidimensional, incredibly structured efforts to improve human life through ongoing education and urban reforms. It's change by blueprint rather than change by fire.
All right, part 4, key factors of change.
There is an entire complex ecosystem of interconnected factors that drive society forward. Demographic shifts, like an aging population or a sudden baby boom, completely force society to adapt. Technological innovations rewrite how we interact and how we work. Economic fluctuations dictate how resources are distributed. Political shifts change the basic rules of the game. And educational advancements alter the very mindset of the entire population. You literally cannot change one of these without causing massive ripples in all the others. It's all connected. Let's look at one of the most powerful catalysts out there: education. Education does so much more than just transfer basic facts. It promotes critical thinking, allowing everyday people to actually question the status quo. It is the absolute primary engine for social mobility, allowing individuals to move across economic classes. It sparks cultural change, it empowers marginalized individuals with knowledge and skills, and it builds the exact kind of political awareness necessary for a functioning democracy. Education essentially equips individuals to not just survive a changing society, but to actively innovate within it. Parallel to education is the structural catalyst of law, because while education changes minds, the law changes boundaries. Legal systems ensure social justice, and they actively promote equality by codifying it straight into the rules of society. The law protects individual and group rights, it regulates acceptable behavior, and it provides a heavily structured mechanism to resolve the inevitable conflicts that pop up when the society is undergoing massive transitions. A robust legal framework is absolutely essential to facilitate smooth economic and institutional change.
Part 5, story of a village.
Let's bring this all together. Imagine a village 20 years ago. At that time, its only connection to the wider world might have been a single government school. Then, the technological factor hits, the internet arrives. This triggers economic and behavioral factors, right? Digital payments are gradually adopted by local merchants. Over time, the educational and legal focus on equality means that today, we see girls from that exact same village pursuing higher education in big cities, while local farmers are utilizing mobile technology to check global weather patterns and real-time market prices for their crops. None of this happened overnight. It is the beautiful, compounding result of technology, education, and law all working together over 2 decades. That is social change in action. We have covered immense ground today in this explainer, from the slow unfolding of evolution to the sudden spark of revolution and the highly structured plans of development. But I want to leave you with a provocative thought to really ponder based on everything we've looked at. Look at the world around you right now. What do you think is the single biggest driver of change today? Is it the rapid advancement of technology? Is it the foundational power of education? The structuring force of law? Or maybe the shifting tides of politics and economics? Think about how these forces interact in your own life. Thank you so much for joining me today, and keep questioning the changing world around you.